Bartail has been one of the persons who's watched all the shows. I talk to him on a regular basis in the EverQuest Next IRC channel.
What we saw with, Kunark for EQ2, you did those 400 quests, you did all the content. At the end of it, the world wasn't changed.
Yeah, I'm Phantom X. I do social media and write articles for EQ Nexus.
For the Fall of Bastion, there was a very definite, okay, this is where your story is going to fit into the world.
Listen, fluffy looking bear. Thank you. Listen, I went and I killed a dragon, and then 2 drops of whiskey hit my face, and I willed this manly beard into cow was raising. Yes.
Hello and welcome. This is the EverCast show, connecting gamers with the game they play. We are a EverQuest Next and Landmark podcast. I'm one of your regular hosts, Tamlin. With me are the normal group of hosts. I'll let them take a moment to introduce themselves to all of you guys watching.
We're the crazies. Tamlin's the sane. We're the insane. That's pretty much it.
What's that? I'm the sane one? No.
I don't think any of us are sane.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know any of you people.
I'm freaking heavenly and crazy.
What does that say about the people that watch us regularly, though? Does that mean they're insane with us? Do they share in our
like
insanity?
watching a train wreck.
Or like watching whichever. I've been on the show for a while. Last episode, though. So you might see me in the future every now and then as a guest, but not regularly.
Wow, we really dropped the bomb on that one, didn't you? Boom, done.
Boom,
Decimated.
Damn.
He posted it on a.
Not everyone
has
Twitter and everyone.
Well, if you missed it, there's a full write-up on Twitter. Basically, weddings coming up, have a lot of work to do towards that and moving in the future. And this spring's just not very good for me to put forth my best effort for the EverCast show. I believe we have an amazing cast, an amazing show, and that it deserves a full attention. And it hasn't been something I've been able to do for a while. So, taking a little leave, we'll see where the future takes us after that. Of course, the show will still be going on, and you'll still have amazing guests, and these 3 insane ones. But yeah, that's that. You guys go ahead and introduce yourself as well.
I'm Kai, and hi.
Oh, hey.
I'm Tamlin's wife. I mean, you guys should know me by now. What other introduction do you want? I'm Kai the crazy, Kai the celestial, Kai the psycho. I don't know.
We've moved things around since the beginning of since the holiday break, because I've got an actual floor now. All of the work is done on the house, and as things got moved around, it sounds like some sound levels got moved out or moved around. So if Kai and I are loud compared to everybody else, let me know. If I am loud compared to everybody else, I need to know if it's Kai and me together or if it's just me myself. Because I want to adjust it so that it sounds good to everybody.
Kind of cute.
Oh, hi, I'm Flatus.
Hey, Flatus!
I don't matter, really.
Yes, you do.
You're the one who slayed the dragon to get your manly beer. You are like the man of the ECAST show.
It's probably true, maybe, I don't know.
Let's feel a little
That's
hurt
gonna.
there.
Anyway, if you've not watched us or you're new to this and we're returning, we're EverCast. Unfortunately, Chewy, who's below me, it will not be here any longer, which is sad days. But he'll come back as a guest because I will force him to with a sword. And we are your fun-loving group of miscreants who discuss EverQuest Next and Landmark and MMOs and all the sorts of goodies around the internet. So, if this is your first time, welcome. If this is not your first time, welcome back. And thanks for having us. And hopefully your holidays were fun and your New Year was great. And welcome to 42 Don't Panic. Insert your Babel fish, and I'm pretty sure Talon wants to get this show started. So, Talon?
Well, really quick, I'm getting reports that Talon and I are the loudest and that Flatus and Shwing and I are hard to hear. So if we can take a second to fix that, if it hasn't already been fixed. And then I want to say, I don't know who Cooper Outlaw is, but oh my gosh, I like you too.
I love Serial put in chat that this is by far the quietest they've ever heard Flatus.
Oh wow. Yeah, we should fix that.
You know, Flatus gets excited, he gets this like giant laugh, it's so boisterous that I mean, it's enjoyable. I love it.
Yeah.
Definitely fix those mic volumes every now and then, absolutely.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Our engineer over there is like, ah.
Listen, if my neighbors don't understand how much fun I'm having, and in a good time.
Yeah.
Well, we already have a question. How many people do you think has played EverQuest? A shit ton. That's my answer.
I think everybody, if you've played an MMO, especially once they went free to play, you've at least like booted it up once. I know that like this isn't anything that I've done recently. This was like many years ago. I took a break from the MMO that I was playing, and because I knew EverQuest 2 was free, it had gone free to play at that point in time. I was just like, yeah, why not? Sure, load it up. I know that's not the original EverQuest, but it was EverQuest 2. I don't want to drag out that old story again about EverQuest, but I was terrified of that game because, yeah. My roommate at the time was playing it. He was staying up until like crazy hours in the morning. I was active duty military, and I could not just lose myself to a video game like that without like getting kicked out of the military or something because I was staying up all night.
Seems like we're having some really bad balance issues.
I try not to rage about it.
Well, I don't know. Can you guys hear me now? Am I okay? This is my normal voice, then. It sounds like someone is either playing dubstep or fumbling the mic around in their shirt. Take that back.
Test 1 2 1 2.
I just want to say anything the whole time. Is Kai remembering to mute her mic? Oh.
Yeah, we're getting we got an okay from Legendary.
Yeah.
That's good for me. Let's go on with this show.
Okay, well, I mean, like, the greatest thing that's happened so far for EverQuest Next / Landmark, more specifically on Landmark, is the mega update that went in just before the holidays. And I mean, since the alpha launched, it is the most content that they put into the game because you had. The first thing that they put in was the building tool, because it's sort of a building game. And then, like, just after SOEI, they added the initial combat, which was the PvP combat. But since then, it has, now we have, like, honest to goodness loot and exploration and PvE.
And holy crap, I'm not going to say shit again, even though I just said it. It's a whole new game. It is absolutely a completely different experience than anything I've had in Landmark. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, the way that I play Landmark is completely different than every other MMO I've played. It requires me to just feel differently. Like, sometimes I feel like, oh my goodness, I want to do heroic things and kill mobs and go on epic quests and everything. And I'm totally unlike that period. It's not even the same. It's like, oh, I want to create, I want to build this things that I was creating for myself and add to it a little bit. And at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm adding to it. Why don't I have 25 days of upkeep. Why don't I top that project option in case my house runs or something. So then, my house keeps up to date, and then do a little bit of exploration. Like I still have not found my first ruin in the underground caverns yet, and I'm still waiting for that to happen.
How the hell does Michael Flatley know what kind of a keyboard I'm using? Because seriously, he nailed it.
Because you might have tweeted it out.
Oh, I totally did. It is a Razer Black Widow Chroma. Oh my god, it's the Chroma.
I can say, we're all going to go into this momentarily, of course, talking about Landmark, but I am highly optimistic at this point, more so than I've been since probably the hype train left the station before the announcement of Landmark. I'm almost back up on that level, and I'll talk about it a little while later. Have you guys, are you feeling good about the future of Landmark at this time? We've been very critical in the past over the game and where it's heading, but what are your thoughts towards this big push that happened and where the future of Landmark's headed?
I love a lot of it. I think that this is great things. Some of the things that I'm really liking right now is the basic logic circuits that they've put in so far, like the triggering. And like I watched Dave Georgeson's New Year's Eve stream that he did on New Year's Eve. I guess that's a little bit redundant, but he was talking about how this is just the commands that we have in right now are just the tip of the iceberg, because they want to add more to it. They want to add logic circuits, the and/or circuits. And that's something that they're looking forward to putting in. And I think that will really, really elevate what they've got in the game. There's still some areas that I'd like to see improvement on. But we can talk about that when we're talking about, well, what can they do better and fix things later? Because right now it's I think that it's in a good spot and it's heading in a great direction.
Flatus, Kylest, I really want to hear your opinion, Kylest, because you're very critical about this game in a lot of ways. And combat really, PvPs or PvE is in, and it is different than PvP, but the basic combat mechanics are still there. What were your thoughts kind of exploring the first time with it?
Thank you. Apparently, I now pull Tanlins.
Ha! It's not just me.
It's so funny. I was literally out somewhere, and I accidentally muted my fiance on the phone, and I unmuted it after a while, and she's like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, "Sorry, I accidentally had you on mute," and she's like, "Oh, you pulled a Tanlin." I was like, "Yes, I pulled a Tanlin." So
that's amazing.
The realm of podcasting, and
that is amazing.
It's part of my life now. Yep.
I want pulling a Tanlin to be outside of the realm, where it's it's a thing where other people are and they're out and about and they mute their radio and they're like, dude, that's the best part. I'm like, dude,
damn
sorry,
it, I pulled a Tanlin.
I totally missed that.
Anyway, sorry. Go right ahead, Kellis.
Alright, so now that I can talk again, because I have to mute my mic when I am not talking or it picks everything up. It feels a little bit different than PvP. It's not horrendous, that's for sure. It's not my favorite. It's definitely better than playing. It's the same freaking mic as Tanlin's. Damn it, people. Quit complaining about the sound. I'm sorry. Bite me. Anyways.
It could maybe be the gain. I don't know. Is there any way you could turn the gain just down?
Everybody is saying it's the gain.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Alright, well, while that's going on, or why they fixed that, I'll talk about my experience. I did spend a few hours inside the new patch. I played a lot with Andoran, Sunglare, and Zue. We went around killing things. It was a lot of fun. It was more towards what I kind of wanted from something like Landmark. It was the PvE is I think better than PvP. So And the new weapons are fun. I did the sword and shield combo, and I love it. I love running around. I think if you we had a group where we had 2 sword and shields. Zube was running the electrical 2-handed sword, and then Andoran was doing I think I can't remember what weapon he was using. Maybe the adventurer's sword. I think maybe just the adventurer's sword. And we were wrecking house. Like, I don't think any monster stood a chance. Like, no matter what it was just a train of us. We were exploring caves. It was just a train of 4 guys in a cave, just wrecking house. So we were slaughtering the golems, and I don't like, if I don't know the name of the creatures, I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna say golem. We killed golems, and we killed.
I think they're Sluagh.
Okay, Sluagh. The plant creature from the one. Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, the Chomper. And that was pretty good. It was a lot of fun. We did a lot of that. And I could see how that could be great. And we did that, and we explored. We didn't come across ruins, and we spent a little bit of time. Like, we went to the lower tiers. And so we did spend a lot of time. We just never came across ruins. And I know those are kind of rare. Unless we did something wrong. Unless we had to, did we have to pray to some sort of god and, dig through a random wall and just find them?
It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss.
It is.
And this is a dislike I'll bring up later, but it is, definitely.
Yeah.
I hit one right away when I first started playing. It was huge. It was massive. I was in love. And then I, bring my friend online who hasn't played Landmark in a while. I'm like, hey, man, come check it out. We went 2 hours, no ruin. He just got pissed off and left. I was like, sorry, man. I don't know.
Yeah, see, my experience is something similar to that. Like, I went down solo, and went tunneling and spelunking and looking for stuff and never ran into a ruin. And I guess that's part of, the reward process of it, right? Is, eventually it's gonna pay off, and you're gonna find that first ruin, and it's gonna be like, oh, I found it, yeah! And then you're gonna start looking for your friends, right? Because it's I know, 3 or 4 people that have gotten their ruins as part of the, what did they call it? The team up. With SOE, so they helped they helped with the developers to put the ruins in. I'm still waiting to find my first ruin and then find the ruin of someone I know, so I can be like, dude, I found it.
Tag it, take a little picture of it, and be like, look what I got. I found your thing.
So, am I allowed to talk yet?
I think so. Maybe.
Are you guys gonna lynch me if I talk again? Is it horrible?
Oh no. Did you bring your towel?
Have towel will travel.
There you go.
Anyways, no, it's not horrible, and I'm trying really hard not to hate on it. Oh, holy crap, it's fixed. Yay! Thank freaking God, because seriously, I was gonna start raging. Just okay, so, now I'm trying, and then the dog goes fucking walking by, and he ruins it with his little claws on my hardwood floor, little bastard. So, now that I've dropped the F-bomb, and the B-bomb, and a few other bombs, the wubs have been banished. I'm not typing on my keyboard. I'm trying really, really hard to like it. And trying to banish my God, I hate this. God, I hate this. God, I hate this. And it's sort of hard.
You need sexier armor to wear.
I have sexy armor to wear. Screw you. Speaking of, do you?
No, I don't mean sexier.
You had to bring up the armor. Has anybody seen the boob window? Seriously? Did they have to put that in game? I thought Sony promised that they weren't going to be a bunch of douchebags about the freaking armor, but no. They put in a freaking boob window, and it's not like it's a freaking window to your soul. You can see her belly button if you look at her boobs.
Oh my goodness. I was just, what I meant by sexier
He's like,
is...
babe, You need
armor,
some sexy
flashier,
armor. That's what I
flashier armor, something that you enjoy looking at more because I know you and I know how you play other MMOs, and one of the first things that you look at is like, how do I look while I'm playing the game? And if you don't like how you look while you're playing it, you're not going to have an enjoyable experience. Okay, and I know this about you, so I was just like, when I said sexier armor, I don't mean like the lift and tuck type armor. I'm talking to just like armor that looks good to you so that you can enjoy it while you're playing it.
I love that other people are like, holy crap, Kai, there is a boob window, and it's so true. And yeah, right? Like, please, I will tweet out pictures after tonight, after we're done with the show, because I'm not going to log into a video game while I'm doing the show, unlike some people I know.
Do on break. break.
No, that's when I take my dogs out and keep them from crying during the last hour.
It's so great. If you've not seen Boob Window, it's kind of a thing.
Like, what is that? I cannot remember the superheroine's name right now, but she seriously has
Miss Marvel?
Yes,
no, Miss Marvel.
Thank you.
Wait, is it her old costume thing? Hold on, I'll find it. I know which one you're talking about.
Google Foo. Seriously though, like, yeah, the one that Poro took, that's the one. It is seriously like you can see it down to her belly button.
Power Girl! It was Power Girl!
Yes!
Those two are excited, if you couldn't tell by your eardrums. Fantastic. Absolutely.
Sometimes I have to be louder than him.
I like
Sometimes.
the boob window. I wish I had, a wood window. I wish I could just walk around with my trunk out in Landmark and be like, hey, this is who I am. If there's a boob window, there should be a junk window. That's all I'm saying.
We didn't even finish up EverCast news, and we're like way off.
Well, if you really want to show off the giant eggs in a basket, you go right ahead. Because seriously, I guess you could get some cleavage out of those, right? It's possible.
Cod piece.
He's going out on he's going out on the top. He just like I did a wood window.
I'm so tweeting that out right now. Hashtag wood window.
No.
Yes.
It would be a belt, slot, piece of, and it would be like a massive cod piece, and it would be just massive.
I have to see if I have the picture still because I put a new hard drive in. But Final Fantasy had something like that where my chest piece was like two straps just covering my chest. Like it was a bare chest, and I was just wearing like a Speedo. That's my character's thing. It was just boots, a Speedo, straps, and like Final Fantasy, like there are no qualms there. Like it's not like, oh, all the women have the sexy thing. Everyone, it's fair game. If women have a sexy like male cod piece thing, dudes have it too. Like it's the like there's even playing ground there. Like they don't play favorites. It's just the ladies. No, men have skimpy outfits too. It was kind of funny because I was running around and be like, I'm tanking, look at me tank.
No, the thing that I was looking for in the game, I haven't. Well, you know what? I haven't really tried making any armor in the game so far. But the cleric armor that they revealed at SOE Live, that was the very nice looking traditional plate looking set of armor. That's what I want, and I have not found that yet. If it's because I think I've seen other people wearing it in the game on like streams and stuff like that. I just haven't gone adventuring and found it yet. With the loot, but then again, I may have the recipe already. I just haven't built it yet. But
is that in game now?
What in game yet?
That gorgeous cleric armor is.
I think so. I believe that I've seen other people wearing it. But see, the thing is that now that my memory is like refreshing itself a little bit, I think it was during the Dave's live stream on New Year's Eve, and it was like I was watching the stream and I saw somebody who was wearing something like it, and I meant to investigate further. I just didn't have the opportunity to. But yeah, I mean that's like the epic. Oh, and the other thing that bothered me is that I looked at the sword and shield set that's in the game currently, and it's Shadow, and I wanted to stay away from Shadow.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were complaining about the whole Shadow thing because the last armor was very Shadow based too. Yeah. Or you can go Highlander. Sorry. Misspoke there, but the lightning sword, the big ass bastard sword that you run around with, that is like straight out of Highlander. lightning and all, man. Just raise it up. There can only be one.
Yeah, and I'll get around to that. But see, the thing is that I found a weapon that works, and so I'm like, why do I want to switch this out when I'm just using the basic adventuring sword, and I'm not having any problem with the mobs. And I think that when we're talking about combat, like I think that that's one of the things like we were going to talk about is like, do you think it's too easy or do you think it's too difficult? Because like Chad and I, we were both saying, or even Flash, you were saying, that was like, these mobs are really, really easy. It's like if you dodge their big attack and you really run into no problem. And like make them smarter, make them more mobile, make them do more, because right now they're pretty easy. And I think that was the consensus. But do you think we're the minority because we're like the we play games all the time
and we play very action-based games as well?
Right.
There's been a lot of feedback on the forums and on Reddit in regards to combat, and we'll get into a little later, I guess, more specifically. But a lot of people have been very upset with how movement-based it is. But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of people from the MMO crowd, like Felden and others, who are straight EQ2, hotbar MMO players, and they're starting to really dig it. So I think that maybe a lot of people are getting frustrated with the learning curve, and they're just not knowing what to expect because there's not a lot of communication in the game on what to expect. The mobs don't emote that much. If you don't see their little animation, you don't really know what to do, I think. If you're not a gamer like we are, we're used to looking for those little animations. I think I think it's just more frustration than it is complete ridicule of the system.
Yeah, the Chomper has got a pretty odd animation. It's like it's hawking back a loogie before it spits it out. Before it spits it out, like what it's about to do. But it is going to be action based. I think all along they've said that it's not going to be your traditional, tab targeting and clicking ability type MMO. You're going to have to move around a little bit.
Yeah, and
even if you.
I was gonna say, I just don't feel afraid. Like I don't fear the monster. Like I don't
exactly.
Like
that's a good point.
And that's why I didn't ever switch my weapon out or look for like, I need to improve my armor, is because like if I'd gotten my ass handed to me regularly, I'd have been like, dude, I need a better weapon. I need to augment my armor better so that I'm protected or more, I can move better because I can't move fast enough. But right now I'm not in that at all. And so I'm like, well, I've got a sword, charge, because that's all I need.
I need to learn to turn my freaking mic on. Damn it!
Or leave it open and just not type. You just gotta make a choice.
Okay, so I can leave it on if I don't talk. But then they hear you. Through my mic. God,
yeah,
no, did I put it
I guess there is no easy way to deal with it.
Nope. So, yeah, it was a fleeting moment, and it's fleeted.
It floated. It fled.
Like those damn mobs in Landmark that run away from me, and I can't catch them, Anyway,
you have trouble catching the mobs?
Caught myself. Sometimes. When they like drop down a cliff or something randomly, and they're still alive, and I have to drop down the cliff after them.
I have more abilities now that we're talking about moving mobs. I would love to be able to play ping pong with a mob, right? Like with a big old two-handed sword, cool. Just smash one in the face and watch it go flying, because they do stuff like that to us. I would love to be able to return the favor. And
I must say, I love that. Like the knockbacks on the slogs. Probably calling them wrong. Anyways, the little golem characters, they have a knockback, and literally I was standing on the edge of a cliff one time. Of course, I had my boots, so I could protect myself from fall damage, but my friend didn't. Knocked right over the cliff, just all the way down this giant chasm, dead. I'm more afraid of the environment at this point than the mobs, but I like that the mobs play with the environment a little bit, because it adds to it. It's cool. I do agree that the intelligence factor is really low on the mobs. I think a lot of the frustration is with the leashing too, especially around actual monuments or ruins. The leash range isn't very far, and it'll vary by AI, as it should. Every AI should have different kind of goals, but there's no way to communicate that to the player yet. So all of a sudden you see one mob go a certain distance and the other mob just says screw you, and you think it's a complete bug, but it's really working as intended. I think there's going to have to be a lot more communication from the mobs, especially if they're supposed to be more intelligent. If not, we're just going to think it's a complete glitch that they're running in weird angles and doing odd things. It doesn't seem like it's a feature. Seems like it's a bug, kind of. But
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the first implementation.
Yeah, it's definitely a wait and see situation. Like, I mean, I haven't noticed it, but I haven't ran into many mobs more than one at a time. And because I have that simple action sword, like, even if they try running for me, I just charge them again. So, like, I haven't ran into any of those type of problems. Have you? So I've mentioned that, like, I have not felt the need to craft armor. So I haven't messed around with the new crafting system. Chad, Flatus, have you messed it around with it at all? I know that I got, like, part of the loot. One of the things I got was like a necklace or a trinket of precision, and I thought that was awesome. Even though I haven't made anything with it, I was like, oh, I got my first loot.
I mean, I kind of like was looking it over, but then I kept saying like, well, if I do that, then it affects, like, why would I want to do this? Like, it affects what I kind of have already, and I kind of dig, like, I have all this, like, I was wearing the tank, or I guess what you would consider the tanking armor, or the warrior, or the sword swing something. So I don't know names. I'm sorry. Even if I learned them, I'd still forget them.
Right. Well,
So-
you just like, what weapon is it, and is it the left right click or the right mouse click?
Yeah, right. Well, either way, it's the armor set. Like, I can't. I'm like, well, if I take that out, or I'm like, oh, I don't want to lose my belt to fly, because I like, because those are my shoes. But then I was like, well, no, I got all this and this. I'm like, I can't justify certain swap outs just because of certain things. I was like, I can see it if I was going for a specific build, but for the monsters, no. Maybe for PvP, I could see swapping the certain things in and out, but for PvE, it's just kind of like, well, I have an easy time as it is. I don't really need to swap things out.
Exactly.
And it's super grindy to get the gear, though.
See,
Super
I've
grindy.
heard that, but I haven't really felt that. But I've always
I haven't felt it either. Like,
I
I
feel
really
like-
haven't felt it.
I don't mind harvesting. And I've offered, like, if you're a builder and you find yourself that you're in a crunch for harvesting resources, like, Twitter me at Tamlin, and if I've got the materials, I'll send them to you. If I don't have the materials, if it's a lot, I might not be able to get all of it, but I'll send you whatever I can come across. And that's why, like, manufacturing weapons never felt like, well, manufacturing any of the things that I can make, like, looking at the recipes, they don't look grindy to me. Like, it just looks like, okay, I need to spend, like, some time and get it done, and bam, done.
The newest thing, and I think why most people complain, is the ether shards are, like, required for everything. But they're not hard to get.
Well,
Like,
dude,
I have crafted like 4 pieces of armor and 2 weapons now, and literally that's not playing a lot. Maybe I got good drops or something, but it wasn't difficult at all. Like, they make you the salvaging and the refining you or whatever, you can use like primal weapons, and a lot of the weapons are primal. So even if you're going for like a shadow essence, you can still use a primal weapon. Maybe people aren't reading that correctly, and so they're thinking it's a bigger grind than it is. But I'm actually excited that crafting is tied to adventuring for once. That it
Exactly.
seems like it's kind of a world, and I don't think the grind's too bad from my end. I've been able to craft a lot, and it hasn't bothered me.
and I wish that the recipes were tradable.
That, yes. I wanted that from the beginning. Like, let me trade this. I want to put this on the market, especially when props come in as recipes. I definitely want to be able to sell my recipe for the prop.
Right, and somebody mentioned in the chat channel that emitters as a recipe that you learn instead of an item that you use. That way, yeah, there's just like, for one, like, I would love to be able to buy recipes off of adventurers as somebody who just wants to sit back and craft. I'd be like, dude, sell them to me. What do you need? I will give you what you want for them, and I want them for me. And then for the emitters, I'd like to be able to, like, doing the same sort of thing, is like collect all the emitter recipes so that people can be like, oh, hey, Tanlin's online. I know he has a lot of emitter recipes. I'll ask him if he can make this one for me, get that sort of relationship. But at the moment, it's like, now, I mean, it's like you've got to go adventure to get them, and then once you have them, that is your supply. And
yeah, well, I mean, you can trade with somebody, but it has to be the second copy of the recipe. So out of all the recipes that you can get and things like that, you have to get it a second time to be able to have a tradable version. Like, it just automatically goes into your
Right.
or into your knowledge bank, and I don't like that.
There was things that we could do the improvement on, right? There was something else about crafting that I would have liked to see the improvement on, and I can't think of it.
I can hit on the armor since we were talking about that a little bit. I actually was someone who was like, oh, I'm going to craft that Lucent Wand. I'm going to go for a heal spec. It looks super badass. It sounds like Star Wars. You're like pew-pewing as you play it. It's a lot of fun. The weapon itself, the damage is a little low on it. But anyways, I was like, man, I was looking at the armor recipes, and there's armor that like, oh, when you deal damage or deal a crit, your armor increases. And I'm like, man, I could make this into a hybrid tank and just have like an instant heal. I might not do a lot of damage, but my crits that did could heal my armor up. Unfortunately, the wand doesn't crit, I found out. Like, literally, it just does not crit at all. I was so mad after I made this whole big build. It works great with the bow and things like that, but the whole purpose of my build was just useless because the wand doesn't crit.
Which is funny.
If you could change that, SOE, I'd love you.
Which is funny because there used to be the joke back in Warcraft, many years ago, is that heals crit, heals can't crit, that sort of thing. Like, and like as somebody who played a healer, is like, yes, heals can crit. Would you stop? Anyway, it was this huge trolling thing that people could do with one another. But you're right. Heals should crit. Your wand should crit.
And it's, I mean, maybe it does every now and then, but it's not noticeable. The bow, if you have some crit armor on, it's like crit, and wand, it's like. It's bad. But anyways, I really like the foundation of the armor. I'm not much of a min-maxer in games at all, but for this being a classless system with 3 abilities per weapon, I'm already having a lot of fun with customizing my armor and making it play off of each other. I can only imagine when it's a full-blown MMO with more skills and armor pieces that can affect specific skills. It's gonna be a game where you want to have a lot of armor pieces available to you, and you, I don't know, kind of like a trading card game a little bit. You have your different cards. You want to build your deck just right for whatever situation you're in.
Oh yeah.
I think that the armor can
What
play
would
like
you
that.
know about trading card games? I don't think they had a combustible
I've been playing
side.
a lot. I did Pokemon back in the day. I was a big Pokemon guy back when I was young. Middle school, elementary school, that was all me. And then lately Hearthstone. Platis got me into Hearthstone, so I've been playing a lot of that. But no Magic. I always wanted to. I never had the money.
No.
Oh man, I'm sad you're leaving. You're leaving on like Pokemon cards and
You have to watch Willow before you can leave the show.
Yeah, you can leave the show until you watch Willow. It's already 2015.
I will watch it and I will tweet it out. Maybe
No, you live stream that shit, yo.
Like, my fiance and I can watch it and we'll live stream it and talk about it as we go through the video.
Yeah, well, I'd watch that.
Oh,
Yes,
that's awesome.
but I think you're definitely right. Like that was the especially when we find mobs that require not require, but when strategies matter against mobs, one strategy is better over one type of mob over another strategy. That's when you really get into like I know that we're going to go up against this type of encounter, so that I need to adjust my armor set in a little bit different way to maybe move faster or have faster energy regen or have better armor regen. Like those type of decisions that we're going to be making, I'm sort of looking forward to them, but right now with the inventory system the way it is, it's really hard to keep track of what you have and what they do, at least in my experience. That's the 2 reasons why I haven't switched out of just like the basic adventuring sword. 1, I haven't found a reason to, and 2, it's like, well, if I switch it out, like how am I going to keep track of all of my armor sets?
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do like a pre-selected armor set and have it saved so that I can be like this armor set and then name it, and then another armor set and name it, so that when I want to swap between them, even if I have to wait until I'm out of combat.
Oh, you mean like World of Warcraft?
Yeah, I was going to go there later.
Oh, they have that for armor now? That's the next one. I mean, I guess macros too. In older games, you can make a macro with all your pieces of armor on, right?
Yeah. Well, in Warcraft, you've always been able to macro it, and then with Cataclysm, I think they came with you can have your predetermined sets, but it's you see, she says like, oh, Warcraft has had that, but how often do you swap out your armor in Warcraft? When you switch specs, and that's it, and other than that, it's all cosmetic. Because your best in slot gear is your best in slot gear.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of getting away from best in slot and more of what is best at this encounter, and going with that type of idea without creating this huge like, oh, well, I have to carry around 20 items of gear along with me just so that I'm flexible for every encounter.
Have you played DCUO at all?
Mm-mm.
It's awful.
Well, the game itself, but I'm talking about the costuming feature. The costuming
okay.
and character design is pretty amazing. And with the way they handle how you can set up your costume so it doesn't take any inventory space or anything like that, I'd love to see that for Landmark and EQ. And if we're going to be swapping this much, just make it a totally different system. Let me not worry about like inventory space or having 1,000 different bank vaults. That's the thing I hate the most about any MMO. The storage.
It's the inventory management mini game. And you're right. I don't particularly enjoy that mini game. I
need to respond to somebody really quick when I'm allowed to.
Go.
I don't like DC Comics. Therefore, I don't care for DC-based video games. It is not the game itself that I dislike. I am a Marvel girl. Forgive me. Fuck you.
Tamlin is in the doghouse tonight.
I much prefer Marvel Comics. I apologize. So I have a weirdness with DC Comics. I don't enjoy any of them. It's not a slam against the game. It's DC Universe is not. I'm sorry, it's not my thing.
Sorry, I don't.
And no, I do not play a blue deck. I play a black-red deck, so suck it.
No, I think that you're right. The DCU, I would love to see more superhero-based MMOs. Like, I think that there is room for improvement in that genre. But that's kind of like it's September.
Yeah, totally different.
The funny thing is,
DC was fun. It is.
Right, and City of Heroes, like, they were putting that up to see if the community could crowdfund getting it back from the developer, and, like, go team! Like, I'd love to see that come back, and not just because I'd love to see more super MMOs, but super powered MMOs, but just to prove to MMO company developers that, like, if you've got a good community, you probably shouldn't shut down games.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to type while he was talking. I apologize.
I was typing as well. Inventory space is definitely something that needs to be worked on in Landmark. I understand it's a selling spot for the bag expanders. I did buy some because they are pretty cheap, and I'm cool with that. Like, it doesn't bother me that much because I hate the inventory space game. Just give me a lot. I'll pay for it. It doesn't matter.
How much are they to? I mean, can you make them, or do you have to?
We're getting reports that we're all muted,
and that's where the issue is. It's like, can I just make it? Isn't there a drop-in game that I could go and get? But no, if I have to buy it, I won't.
I'd like to see bags added as a craftable, like expansion containers within the inventory. That would be excellent.
I'm going to have a room on my claim that is nothing but chests, and eventually I'll get around to, like, putting up signs above every chest to say what's in the chest so that I could just run into the room and be like, okay,
I do that in Minecraft.
Yeah, that's what I do in Minecraft too.
Right, and
I have walls.
I do
of
that in
chests.
Minecraft.
I know.
Totally do that in Minecraft.
We're going to be those people. I already can call it. Like, is there a limit to the number of chests that you can have on a claim? Does anybody know?
There was.
Limit right now.
Oh my goodness, that's bad.
No, I got stopped from putting more than like 4 or 5, but that's been a long time, and I don't know when that was. They may have changed it since then.
I know.
Legendary says 5 claims per chest, so there's no prop limit on it.
5 chests.
There are chest limits. Yes.
Oh, 5 chests per claim.
There should be 6. I don't like odd numbers.
Now, does that work?
Each woman has 2.
Yeah.
Well, still, I know how I
do it. Does that work on,
it.
like, a mega claim, though? Like, if you have 3 different claims tied together, is that just 1 5 chests? Or
No.
You have 5 on each?
Is it on each claim? Because then what you do is you make one claim with little teleporters, and then you label above each teleporter so that it's like,
here's my room.
Okay, I'm looking for all of my plate armor. Okay, that teleporter, and it takes me to that claim, and that claim has, it teleports me right into the room with the chests, and like, bam, done. But yeah, I assume that there was going to be a limit to the amount of chests because that seems like if they didn't, then you would abuse the servers by having thousands and thousands of inventory slots. Camera angles. Chewy, you still hate them?
The camera is still pretty bad, both building and adventuring in certain areas. It's gotten a lot better, I think. Most of it's the controls, though. It's still two different games, and I think Georgeson commented on it, a little stutter, on it about a couple of weeks ago, saying that, yeah, we're kind of taking a look at this. We don't really like how it's two-play experiences either. That doesn't mean they're going to move forward on it. That doesn't mean they're going to really change it. I mean, that's a big feature to change, but I'd still like to see any kind of mining, adventuring be one control scheme, and building be another. Building's the only time where it's really its own separate game. I think mining and adventuring so intertwined, especially now that you go down in the cave. Yeah, it just stinks for me. Like switching weapon and then completely camera changes and then go back.
Right, I agree with you that it's a jarring experience that when you switch into your weapon, like all of a sudden your point of view shifts a little bit, and your controls change too. Like all of a sudden your mouse isn't controlling your character; it's controlling your view area and that sort of thing. Like I get it that it's a jarring experience, but for me, it's like there is the camera view that I get everything else that I'm doing in the game, and then there's like when I'm in combat, and other than so like I don't know, I have the opposite view from you when you see it as two different ones. I see that there's like your normal view and
two opportunities to see it differently. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if they can make it a smoother transition as far as the camera angles and things like that are concerned, then I'd be a little happier. I think that combat camera is like too limited, and then the other's a little bit like too freeform. I don't know. I'm not a camera designer. I'm not a UI designer.
Yeah.
But it does bother me a little bit, and it bothers a couple people that I know that play as well, because it's very different.
The mic is muted and the camera angles suck.
Yeah, I don't have the solution because I'm a game player. I'm not really a I don't have the solution other than that it is a jarring experience to get shifted from one to another. I need to spend more time doing combat and shifting between the weapons, because has anybody been shifting between weapons, or do you still find that you use one and only one and don't shift between?
No, I shift, especially based on the mob I switch.
Now, remember when I was having problems before where I would use like I'd have my button set up on my hotbar that would shift my weapon so that I was using one particular weapon, and if you hit it a second time, it unequips it. And so, like, if you hit it twice in a row, like you double tap, it would equip it and then unequip it, and then you have no weapon, and you're running around like, and that sucked. And I haven't, now that I have my trusty adventurer sword and I don't use anything else beside it because I'm pretty proficient with it, I find that I do that a lot less. And I was just, is anybody else still running into that? Like the whole swapping between weapons and accidentally unequipping a weapon unintentionally?
Not me, no.
Flattis,
yes.
I don't weapon swap.
Yeah, so do you agree with me that that's one of the things that they need to add is a sticky weapon thing? Like, if I hit it to equip it, that's great. If I hit it a second time, that doesn't mean unequip. That just means that I want it equipped.
Completely agree. And
okay.
I want to see my weapon equipped on my body. So when you're not using your shield, does it display on your back? Because I like that, and I want
no, yeah, nothing like that. And
that's the funniest thing is it's just like your pick and your axe. Like when you're running around in landmark harvesting, right? It's like you pull the pick out of nowhere, and there it is. Oh, it's massive.
We're all magicians in landmark.
And then it goes. Yeah. Wow, where'd it go?
I have a bag of holding on my back. Duh. You just can't see it. It's a shirt of holding. That's how the boobs stay up.
No, and that's also how I carry around with me like a square mile of dirt everywhere I run that I can just whip out on command.
That's an excellent point. Maybe we're looking for too much realism.
I just pretend I'm a cartoon character and I can just whip anything out that I need from behind my back.
But on the other side, I do understand the point of view that if you have a shield and a sword and part of your game experience is seeing you with that equipment, it's kind of nice to see it visualized on your body as you're running around. And I get that. I think that it should be something to look at, like see if it's possible. Not like everything, but like, I don't know.
D-Man puts a good point. Basically, maybe we should just have like 4 weapon slots that could be in like the character panel instead, so we could just equip them there. and then have the hotbar below, so it can show when you're equipping it and when you don't equip it. But still, then picks come into. I don't know.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. That like you have like a cosmetic weapon slot and a cosmetic offhand slot, and so like you say like, hey, this is my sword that I want everybody to see that I have it, and this is my offhand shield that I want everybody to see when I have it, so that it's not like you're carrying. No, that's a good solution. Because they already have cosmetic armor slots, right? Because you can be wearing one set of armor and then throw on another one. They just put it so that, like, hey, you can only represent one main hand and one offhand or one two-handed weapon on your character at a time. Pick it.
Yeah,
I would.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping they expand on it more because I kind of dig that like weapons come in sets, but I also kind of be like, well, what if I like the other shield?
You want the shield.
Yeah, what if I like what that shield does, but I was like, oh, I want to mix and match with that sword.
When player studios, when people start designing their own props, and so you go out and you buy a customized looking sword, you're going to want people to see it, especially if it's a really cool one. If your guild designs a guild shield with their standard on it, you're going to want people to see it. Otherwise, people aren't going to buy it. And so I think that like if SOE is listening, you know, like these are reasons you should really do this. Get on it.
I remember. No, go ahead.
I would pay real money if I had to, but I would prefer not to. But I would.
But not if the purple version is more expensive than the orange.
I promise never to do that again. I would pay real money if they would let me show my shield on my back and my sword, preferably sheathed behind my shield on my back.
Yeah. No, it's cool, and I can see that. Like the other things, like if you have a dramatic looking cloak that you want to equip in that back cosmetic slot, or maybe you want to look like a vagabond, so you have like this ragtag backpack, you know, with patches and stuff. These are all cool things that you could add to your character to add a little bit of that depth to like what people see when they see you.
Now, remember that EQN armor and the whole system has already been said to be very different. In EverQuest Next, if the design plans haven't changed, you'll basically equip one piece of armor and be able to customize the different pieces of that from there. So they call them armor families. So like, hey, I'm equipping Dark Elf armor, and in the Dark Elf armor, there's this family of different pieces to that armor, to where I can change the spoilers out, where I could keep my necktie if I wanted to. I don't know, maybe Dark Elves are businessmen when they're not stalking the night. But anyways, it's going to operate very differently from what we've heard. So I think there's a lot of potential for EQN to have all these features. At the same time, though, I can totally see it being very profitable for Landmark to be able to do cosmetic weapons, cosmetic shields. Because right now, Player Studio for any other SOE title is all like item-based. Like, yeah, we can make shields, we can make guns. Actually, you can't make guns. You can make helmets in PlanetSide 2. Right now, Player Studio is only building-based for Landmark, so we don't actually have that extra feature for it yet. So I could see it being a big opportunity for them to have that.
And I hope to see in the near future that pretty soon that people will be able to do the same sort of props for Player Studio, or did they say that was never going to happen? Because right now it's all voxel buildings that you can add to this.
I don't think they've stated that it's never going to happen.
But it's just not
they've really stated that it is going to happen either. But it's in all the other games, so why wouldn't it? I don't know.
Right. Well, because and I mean the reason not to limit it to is because SOE has a very limited art team, and they're given a priority task. And if you open it up to the community, then you've just hired the entire community as an art team, and now you're just in the business of selecting which is good and appropriate props to bring in and which aren't.
Yeah, don't forget, like, when they hold those contests to build us this thing for the ogres or the dark elves, everyone's giving away free art assets. Essentially, not saying
some
thing.
Damn sick art assets too. Have
Which,
you
by
seen
the
some
way,
of those ogre builds? Like,
which is
I'm
fantastic.
blown away.
And
a lot of them are amazing.
I completely agree that they really need to redo the Dark Elf Landmarks of Landmark contest again, like towards the end of the alpha or closed beta, whatever you want to call it, because the building that has gone on since like from the beginning of alpha and the beginning of beta till now, it's just mind blowing.
I mean, from what I've been seeing since alpha till now, especially with picks from Cody and a lot of the other people in the community, the game has changed. Like the building aspect of the game has changed significantly, and it's great. I think that's good. I think this is where the building aspect should be. The monster aspect, if you get, like I said, you get a good team going. You got to train. You got to. And it's not a hype train. But it's not a hype train, but it's training the zone probably meant one thing back in 1999, but now if we train the zone, it's just me and a group of people just go woo woo.
Nuke the content.
Well, you don't even have to have a train. Like if you're patient and a solo player, you can.
Yeah. But that's for now.
Do I want patience or do I want to group up and just go woo?
Yeah. right.
They
true.
did say that the difficulty doesn't really change by the tier right now, and that will be changing. So it could be you go down to tier 5, maybe you get your ass whipped.
Which was funny is like as we were talking, like I asked Gladys like how many emitters have you got, and you guys have got your bags overflowing with emitters, and I have got no emitters in all the adventuring I've done, and I'm like,
I'm telling you,
what am I doing wrong?
I think you got to group up with people and just ride the train. You got to be like Terry Tate. Office linebacker, hump it, bump it, woo!
Come on in. Yeah, absolutely. We always talk about needing to group in an MMO and forcing social features. Well, this isn't mechanical because you can solo every mob in the game. Yet it's hella more fun to do it with a person. So. I mean, maybe
it's always more fun when you do it with someone else.
It is always more fun, isn't it? Absolutely. But that's definitely true in Landmark. Like,
Flat has totally missed the rim shot.
I don't know what you're doing. Join general channel and group up with people. That's why it's like, what?
You missed the opportunity to use the rim shot noise drop when when they were talking about
it's always
activities that are more fun with more people. That's not close enough.
I failed you all. I'm sorry.
You have failed me for the last time, Admiral.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, Legendary asked a great question. I think we should come back from the break and talk about it, which is the voice chat in game now that it has also been implemented.
Oh my god, look at all the Zoran the Bear sent me, Jesus!
Holy, hi Zoran's friends. Wow. Okay, so after talk a little bit about the voice chat, any
Woo!
We got a raid from Legendary too. This is just a raid kind of night. Hey everybody, welcome.
Hi.
There's a lot of spam in this channel right
now.
Zoran the Bear, what a man.
Wow, Zoran,
what a bear.
We love you too.
Oh man.
Well, welcome out everybody. We are highly Zoran approved.
Hey Zoran, how's it going, buddy?
Voice chat's an awesome feature though that I would love to talk about more. You're giving me this weird look. We will talk about that after the break.
An idea is great.
Current implementation's a little rough, but it's pretty dang close to being good. I think there's just some oddities to it that need improvement. Character key mapping for one, push-to-talk mapping, that could be a nice feature to add. But we can talk about all that when we get back. We still have 2 minutes left, or do you want to talk about it now?
No, we got 2 minutes, so I was going to say, everybody that's coming from Zoran the Bear's channel, welcome to EverCast. If you don't know who I am, I'm Flatus. And I'm a sexy beast. And listen, everybody here is also sexy.
Damn.
Chewy down below is leaving, but he's still sexy. Talon's got a beard, and Kyless is down there looking hot as always. So sit right back. We're going to show you 2 videos, and we'll be right back. And hang in there for the second half of Don't Panic. Insert your Babel fish, grab your towels, and this is episode 42 of EverCast. Stay classy, people.
Yeah, we'll be right back after a short break.
Oh, also we camp here, so I'm going to camp out. Camping in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.